AI Jesus, singing AI ballads on AI. America's Got Talent. For a stock footage crowd who cheer just as loud as the upvoted commenters, saying amen, the second coming, a miracle. Praise be to Google and AI Jesus, singing AI ballads on AI. America's Got Talent. Watch his body pulse and tween between 1,000 body types, so everyone may see themselves in the AI body of Christ. With a voice full of heartiness, like a chunky Campbell soup. 1 part RFK, 1 part Charlie Puth, and we got our one viewer.
Hey.
Hi, Ryan. Welcome, Ryan. Welcome the millions of people to watch this in years to come when Ollie Mae explodes. I am Taylor Abrahams, and I'm very thankful to be joined by a special local guest, Ollie Mae.
Hi.
So we just met properly, like, literally yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd found you online just by chance. I mean, the algorithm. But I was like, whoa, who's this? Like, she's playing, like, Joel Plaskett songs, like, very Canadian. Like, where in Canada is she? Peterborough? What? Okay, so then it was like, okay. And then I find out that you're working with David at Treble Clock Studios here in town.
Yep.
And I've known him a bit. He popped by here even before I got this studio built, basically to give really casual advice, you know, about, like, you know, you don't need to spend money. But I spent money because circumstantially, it's like if you're in a backyard in an area like this, you got a lot of risks.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing just dandy. Yeah,
Great.
I've been excited about this.
Oh yeah?
Day. Yeah.
I'm so happy to have you, honestly.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
And I just, you know, you're a ridiculous talent, so I'm so excited to see what comes for you. And I know you've got a few songs for us. Why don't we hear a song from you for starters to palate cleanse from the majesty that is AI Jesus. I probably should change that at the front. And then we'll chat more about your aspirations and everything else you've been your life story, all that stuff too.
Yeah.
All right, so what have you got for us?
I'm gonna start with my single that just came out a couple weeks ago, The Color Blue, available on all streaming. And yeah, that's about all I gotta say about it. We can talk more about it after.
Sounds great. I'm gonna put this a pinch closer to you. We're doing this all kind of by the seat of our pants here. In fact, you might want to. You're welcome to put on the headphones.
Thank you.
Maybe you'll have a better reference that way, or if you trust me.
Think I hate the color blue, and it's all because of you. And I think I hate her too, 'cause I'd risk it all for you. Will the air smell the same as the day that you met me? Oh, will it stir you? Will it strike you? Or will you live to forget me? When I drink, I think of you.
gorgeous. Wow. So, I kind of don't know where to begin. I'd love to just ask you a bit about that song, if that's all
Absolutely.
right. Not to take the mystery away, because of course, songs are meant to be interpreted. But I mean, it sounds like a heartbreak song, and it sounds like your strings are very fresh on that guitar.
They sure are. I got this for Christmas.
And same strings since Christmas.
No, we did a reset, but...
Oh, okay. Well, it's a gorgeous sounding guitar, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased. I have a Martin as well. So it's a heartbreak song, and it's in drop D. Is that right? Or what tuning is that?
It was actually, this is in open D. I play it in open D when I'm just trying to get like a good take. But it's actually just written, and the song is in standard.
Standard
and
tuning,
the way that you play it is just you take the E shape and you move it up 2 frets, and then you move it up to the 7. And that's about it for...
That's almost like, Joni Mitchell loved to write in these unusual tunings in order to have a more intuitive feeling on the guitar. Is that kind of what your intention was?
I do that a lot. I very often play in open D. Like most of the songs that I've written are in open D because you have all these, like, it's all, of course, chords within the key, but they're a little bit different, and some of them are just a little bit dissonant in a way really that's pretty. Really pleasing to me. Anyway, I just found out ways that I can move my hands up and down the fretboard, and it's a lot easier to create something that sounds interesting but isn't, difficult to play.
Right. But I mean, you can also play very well in standard tuning as well. So but it does free you up vocally in an interesting way, I think.
Yeah, and I've always been better in the key of D, just singing wise. So works out pretty good. Is
there anything else that you're working on that's in a drop tuning, or even just like your favorite chord you found in this tuning right now?
I mean, I do. Like I said, I have a couple songs in this tuning. There's only one that I've actually spent any time trying to record, which I'll probably release as a demo at some point soon because it's pretty bare bones. But favorite chord? That's a good question that I never thought of here. It's kind of like a transition between chords, but I've actually thought about this in this tuning. If you go to, I couldn't tell you what this is.
That's kind of like an A sus. It's like an A add 2.
Yeah, wish I could tell you. I've absolutely zero grasp on music theory other than the 12 notes of Western music.
Okay.
So. But I love.
Well, luckily that's all you need. Over here.
Yeah. So, I do love the from the D to this, and then down.
Yeah.
Back up. I don't know. That chord is just very pleasing to me.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of suspense, and it just makes the resolution much better. I'm
trying to figure out what you would call that. It's like, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not playing it at all. Okay. It felt like it was like an F sharp chord, like. But yeah, that's like the A add 2 for the. Yeah. We could go on and on, but I mean, our one viewer is also a musician. And,
oh yeah.
Or maybe we have multiple viewers now. It says viewers 4. Oh, hey. Ryan loves it. So Ryan is actually a student of mine over Zoom, and he's coming to visit in a couple months, which will be nice for a weekend.
Nice.
And okay, so let's go to the beginning. So I understand that you have a musical father, and that was a big influence on your growth growing up.
Yes.
So what did you learn from him? Let's make it that vague.
Well, growing up with music in and around the house, whether it was him playing it or just obscure Canadian artists from the 90s that nobody else knows about.
Like who?
Well, whenever it's not that obscure, but whenever I tell or ask somebody about it, they look at me funny. The Flashing Lights.
Okay.
It was a big influence on me.
I don't know them.
The Super Friends?
The Super Friends?
Yeah, 90s.
Oh, no.
Halifax, I believe.
I know the Super Best Friends from South Park. But anyway, no, that's interesting. So I like to think that I have all this deep cut Canadiana in me, but there's still things I don't. And then sometimes people, like if you brought up to me like, hey, you know the Rheostatics? I'd be like, yeah. I was still young enough to have seen them live when they were initially together.
Yeah.
Or old enough, I guess. And obviously Joel Plaskett was a big thing for you growing up, and
Yes.
that's primarily what you've been covering online a lot.
Yes,
Just
almost exclusively.
Yeah, exclusively. And you told me yesterday that, you know, because he's such a big influence on you, your chance that when you got to meet him, you were very, very nervous and embarrassed about it. And but yeah, rest assured you'll get to meet him again and things will be okay. But now, since he's not listening, is there anything you would say to Joel Plaskett, if you could right now?
Joel, I wish I had met you after I started working in a music studio, because then maybe you would have been impressed by me.
Aww.
That's what maybe you would have thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I do hope I'll meet him again. As we were talking about this just occurred in my brain. I had a dream last night that he announced a show in, like, Lindsay. And I woke up very disappointed. Anyway, but yeah, I wish, because I met him in August for the first time and only time. And like I had said, I was late to the set because of my dad, and I couldn't see the later set because it's my boyfriend's birthday party. So I only got to see about 20 minutes of music, but he played Rollin', 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 which is my favorite song off of 3. And he was with Benj Roland, who has been a family friend for a long time, and my dad plays with him in a band whenever he's available.
Oh, so I mean, it's I mean, even without those connections, you would definitely meet Joel again, you know. Like as long as you keep playing, you know, and putting yourself out there, and you know, and I've got plenty of recommendations for you of just like folk conferences to go to, people to meet.
Yeah.
And even like, you know, we're really blessed in Peterborough to have like some pretty accomplished artists who just live here or you know, are sick of the big city like myself and have moved back.
Yeah.
But you know, like there's Hawksley Workman in town. I don't know if you grew up on him so much, but for me it was like he was one of my like truly like my top 5, top 3 artists when I was growing up in the early 2000s and on Much Music and stuff like that. Yeah. And then he just lives in town. I've got to write with him a bit, you know.
Yeah.
So and you know, same thing with Joel, not write with him, but like getting to meet him is it's a lovely experience, and he's a very approachable guy.
Yes.
And a very, very social guy, especially if you start talking about Marshall McLuhan with him.
Okay.
All right.
Noted.
So that's my tip for you.
Yes.
Yes. Is my camera freaking out on me? It's like, who do I focus on? Yeah, no, it's doing that. I gotta reset. And then anyway, but so you grew up on all this stuff, and then was there a moment where you were like, okay, no, I want to be a singer-songwriter? Absolutely.
That's a good one. I don't think I've ever really thought about that.
Even if that's what you define yourself as, you know, maybe not.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it might be more than that. Like, not to toot my own horn, but like everything that I've produced or mixed has been by myself, with a couple exceptions. Played by myself. I play like all the instruments, not prodigy-like, but you know, I can get stuff done. And
well, you see, what I would say is you have feel, which is something that can't really be taught.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think you get through listening to a lot of stuff, through osmosis, and just, you know, really being a genuine student of this stuff and like staying a student of this stuff no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever like one moment, you know, or like even one period of time where I realized like this is what I want to do. I just like it kind of feels like I always knew that it would be a big part of my life, and I just didn't know what it would look like yet. Right. But when I started, probably when I started taking songwriting seriously, which was just this past summer, I wrote my first full song that I didn't hate, and started recording it on my dad's computer because he's got like kind of a home studio type situation as well. And less than a month after, I put in my application to do co-op at the studio, and I was immediately accepted before he even read my resume.
Because he just heard the song.
No, he didn't hear the song.
Okay.
It's a funny story, which when I came back to school telling my co-op teachers how it went, they ended up telling everybody they knew. But he had me come in on a Saturday morning where his band was like rehearsing, and only him and his buddy Adam were there so far. So he's the bassist and Adam's the guitarist, lead singer. And they were like, "What do you play?" And I was like, "What you want me to?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Okay, we'll throw you on drums before our drummer gets here." And they asked me if I know The Weight by the band. And I was like, yeah, I know The Weight by the band. And Adam asked me, "Well, do you want to sing or do you want to drum?" And I said, "I can do both." And he said, "You're hired." And I had been going there like every day since then.
So that's at Treblecock there, right?
Yes.
So, what does your day-to-day look like at Treblecock? It seems like sometimes you're playing, sometimes you're engineering.
Yeah. So, I'd say it's a pretty even split to me doing my own thing and doing client work. So I get clients assigned to me by David, and it basically just looks how you'd expect it to. I'm there to plug shit in, record for them. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Fuck no!
I'm just the one that direct them and hit record, and then in most cases, with the exception of a couple bands who have like a relationship with like Liam because he knows how to mix their stuff. Otherwise, I do the mixing for the client work, and other than that, it's it also just kind of doubles as a space for me to hang out because like David and Liam I've become very close with them over these however many months since September, and even if we're not like actively doing anything, I'll just pop in, say hi to everybody, hang out. But yeah,
you're in a really ideal situation.
Yeah,
you just get to kind of be put through this rigmarole that oftentimes people wait till university to really experience, and even then afterward, you know.
Yeah.
So you're very blessed to have stumbled into this situation here.
Yeah, I think about that all the time. Just like how lucky I am to be like the one like they accepted me at 16. Like they thought that I had something, and that was before I even knew anything about mixing. So not only do I feel very honored, but I just feel so grateful for all of it because I've gotten so many opportunities from it, and I've learned more than I ever have about music. And yeah, like I said, like I've gained friends from it. It just like feels like a second home to me.
Yeah.
It's there's not one complaint that I have. Like even
yeah.
I was talking about this with David yesterday. I was doing some client work for a genre of music I'm definitely not a fan of, just kind of H&M change room type stuff. And I had to get it done.
What's the other name for that? It's like
lobotomy music.
Lobotomy music, or what is it? Coworker music.
Oh yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I was working on some of that, just like kind of wanting to bang my head against the table a little bit, and David's sitting on one of the couch chairs behind me as I'm at the mixing desk, and he says, "Remember when you used to work at Superstore in the meat department?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Okay, god damn it, you're right. Like, there are so many... I'm just so lucky to be working there.
Well, and what I would say is even if you're working on something that seems kind of... Like, I've been hired to make, like, songs for, like, preschool songs sometimes. And it's, like, it's not the most intellectually enlivening thing, but it's, like, it's all practice.
Yeah.
And there's always something that you discover from it. And or maybe he was just bringing it up because it's like, remember, this needs to sound like what you would hear over the speakers when at the meat market.
Remember the old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's whenever I'm feeling like just, kind of slowing down on something or not feeling inspiration on something, not wanting to get something done, I'm just like, do you remember when you had to power wash pork fat from the grout of the tiles? And then
Oh
I
my
think,
God.
yeah, it's a bad first job.
Yeah,
Not good.
I'm like vegetarian,
Yeah.
so it's really, yeah, I would, yeah.
It was not a good job, but it was the only place that would hire me.
Yeah.
Because nobody hires 15-year-olds with no experience anymore.
Right.
So I stayed there for a year, and then I said, you can take this job and shove it.
And so what inspired you to be like, I'm going to get out there and just like, I'm, you know, your situation could be different than mine, but certainly when I was growing up, it was like, I'm just going to focus on music. I see there's other people kind of getting day jobs and things like that, but I mean, I'd already done a lot of child acting and stuff. I was just like, I don't know how to do anything else. Is that kind of what it is in your mind too? Like, I don't know how to do anything else except music?
Yeah, that's almost exactly it. I actually, believe it or not, my career path of choice since probably grade 7 was to be a forensic investigator and perform autopsies on people. That was the dream for me. I had just always read about like human anatomy and how the body works when I was a kid, and I just always found it fascinating and really, really cool. But I always just thought of it as, you know, less stress than being a surgeon, you know? But still getting to learn everything about the human body, and I just thought that would be a really fascinating and enriching thing to do.
Well, you can do both if you really want.
Well, I could have, but then I basically just killed myself doing biology for the grade above me, trying to fit in all my courses, and I was taking an advanced math class, which I failed and had to go back to for summer school, and the last 2 months of school were just absolute hell.
Okay.
Doing math and biology, like, some of biology was great, some of it was just okay, but it was a lot of work.
Right.
And then math, none of it was great.
Yeah.
I don't know what the holdup was, but I had always done well in math, even up till 9th grade, but then they stopped, kind of de-streamed the courses. So you get a good mark in 9th grade, you're like, I can go to the higher level. No, you can't. So
one of my theories is that there's also ways in which our brain will deliberately sabotage us when we're not meant to go in a certain direction.
Yeah, it's very possible in my case.
Like, there was this harmony counterpoint, really convoluted course in university that I just could not pass for the life of me. And I, would work with the TAs. I try to do everything right. I would always get 30% on like every test. Mm-hmm. And part of it was like, I do not see the purpose of this. I see no way in which 14th century Gregorian counterpoint will matter to my future.
Yep.
And so, yeah. So I maybe just see it as like a sign of like, yeah, okay, I'm doing the right thing. It's and like the wild thing about being a musician, like I grew up at a time where the assumption was like, if you haven't made it by 25 or 30,
it's over.
It's over. And I carried that weight with me for a very long time. And so even when I was your age, like 16, 17, I had it like, okay, I'm a failure. Like I was already carrying around those kinds of notions in my head, and it was dragging me down and all this. But all to say, like, whatever interests you, any year, any moment, where that little quiet voice in you is saying to explore that, like follow that instinct.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it takes decades to listen to those things, and decades you wish you could get back, or
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, when it comes to HRT, for me, it's like it's not something that was even articulated in the early 2000s. It was like not even a thing. It was just, well, I don't really feel like a guy, but I'm not gay. So never mind, this can't be anything then, because those are the only two options.
That's all that's allowed.
That's all that's allowed, Anyway, so to get back to music here, so is there another song you want to play for us? Perhaps now feels like a good time for another song.
I can make that happen.
Okay, yay. And while you tune up, why don't I just recommend to people here, if if you like to support the stream, if you PayPal me a little bit tonight, I'll make sure that Ollie gets some as well. And those are my links. Not that they matter so much, but Ollie and I will be on my Patreon after this little stream to do a bit more for you folks. So you're welcome to join there for a bit more. And what am I looking for now? There we go. We're back. And so what song are you playing now for us?
All right, this is Light of the Moon by Joel Plaskett, or Joel Plaskett Emergency, off of the album Down at the Khyber. So...
Whoops. Whoops. Elegant. Elegant. All right, and action.
September, I drove across the prairie, the mountains behind me, and the ocean beyond. This country's a coal mine, and I'm a canary. Turn out those headlights in the radio. I remember the words, I forget the tune. Light of the moon, light of the moon. Sunrise, oh sunrise, could you wait for me? Don't come too soon in the night's steep abyss. I'll flirt with a waitress in Sault Ste. Marie. Hear music and voices under static and mist. I remember the words, I forget the tune. Light of the moon, light of the moon. Under the stars, we stagger and swoon. Light of the moon, light of the moon.
Gorgeous. Is that one that Joel gave you the chart for?
No, actually, no. That one I just kind of
Figured it out?
figured it out. I had it in open D, and I realized that if I was up this high, the placements
Right.
that I already knew would kind of work.
That's always kind of like one of the challenges with especially like Canadian artists. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to do a thing where I like the you probably know like the big Beatles chord book where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
all the Beatles songs.
My guitar teacher bought that for me for
Yeah.
my birthday.
Yeah, I mean that was one of my vital things to learn chords from when I was 12, 13. And but I just think like, yeah, you need one of those for like Joel Plaskett and Hawksley Workman and for Sarah Harmer and just all these artists, you know.
Yeah. I wanted to learn Down at the Khyber, and maybe we should just go home real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And because at the moment, at least, Down at the Khyber is probably my favorite emergency album, and I was really obsessed with it for a while there, and then I messaged him and I asked him, and he recorded them for me, and that's like I said, it's that's why I love supporting Canadian music. Because not only are we pretty freaking cool, but it's so easy to get in touch and kind of like, I don't know, make it a tangible thing, make the music and the person a tangible thing. And it's not easy to do that with other big artists. Like, you don't think of them really as a person, just kind of an entity or something that's above you.
Yeah.
But when you get to talk to someone that you look up to so much, as their regular person, because you realize that they're kind of just like you, it puts things into perspective.
Yeah, and it's like, it's such a life-affirming thing to just be heard by someone who, like, I mentioned the Rheostatics earlier, and one of the things was, like, they were, like, one of my just Canadian obsessions growing up. And, I got to meet them, what's happening? Oh, hi. Hello. It keeps freaking out because it wants to, it's like, there's two people here. That's not possible. But when I met the Rios in front of Massey Hall before their farewell show, and I was about your age, and I was really nervous about it, and I was kicking myself for things I said afterward, but anyway.
Sounds like a familiar story.
Yeah.
It's a rite of passage.
I've got a long list of awkward conversations I've had with people I admire.
Yeah.
And it goes back to recent days as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, there's some actors from SNL that I stumbled into on the street, and I just, oh God. I made them like sign a Pokemon card because they had a sketch that referenced Pokemon, but it took me forever to pull it out of this purse I had, and I was so like, I don't know, I was like taking some weird herbal thing, so I was like not there mentally, and I was just way too relaxed during the whole exchange. Anyway, so whatever. But one of my, like, we all kind of need tent poles, I think, as artists, of like the things that we're aiming for. So one of mine is just like, I want to be a musical guest on SNL. Then I feel like I've arrived somehow. Yeah. So if you have a tent pole, do you have like something that you're aiming for, like say where you want to be when you're 20?
I'm 20. Well, I just want to get as much music out as I can. And I've never been the person to dream of like fame.
Especially if your heroes are like Canadian artists,
I just want to be like them. I want to have, it wouldn't hurt if I had an anthem or two, but like I want to have a smaller community of people who connect with it more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And like numbers aren't so important. I mean, it's cool to think about how many people have listened to you and enjoyed what they heard, but like I just think of just having a couple hundred people in a venue.
Totally.
And just being up there with like a few of my buddies or myself, doesn't matter. I just want to be able to connect with people with the things that I put out.
Like, yeah, and I think that's totally attainable.
Yeah.
You'll figure that out for sure. And like, and one thing I've realized as I've gotten older, I'm about double your age, believe it or not, is that it's like, yeah, numbers truly do not equate to quality at all.
Yeah.
And not only that, like if something is like a mega success, it's only a mega success usually because it's somehow maintaining the status quo and making people richer. Like there's not a lot of things that are allowed to be really successful that are breaking the mold.
Yeah.
I feel like in the last time we really had that was the early 70s with mainstream radio, and then somehow they got scared after that and didn't. It's like, disco. That seems like something that won't have social messages in it. Let's just make everything disco now. Yeah. So yeah, it's but all these grassroots movements really amount to something amazing, you know, whether it has a political aim or whether it's just about human beings connecting to something more humble.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing to experience. I'm not the one being interviewed though, so let's think more about what to ask you. So I wanted to ask you more about your bands that you've been involved with in town, because so it seems like everybody wants to work with you now. Is that what's happening? So
I don't know about that.
what are the bands you're in?
So first band I kind of started in was my school rock band, which is still standing to this day. I still sing with them.
What are they called?
Tommy and the Stewarts, because I go to Thomas A. Stewart.
Okay.
And I've been singing with them. They were like my first introduction to like singing in public, but it's just at school, so it's not a whole lot to be nervous about. I was nervous my first time, but after that I was just like, I like this. And still playing with them. I had to take the semester off, however, because I didn't have my lunch period last semester because I was here at the studio. But I've got my lunch period back now because I'm in the studio in the afternoon. So I'm back, and that... So
you're somehow doing your time at the studio as part of your schooling?
Yeah. In September, early September, actually, when I was starting to think of quitting my job in about June, I hated my job. I was in summer school for math with a bunch of 9th graders, and I was also going blind at the time with chronic migraines. I had like a big health scare in the summer, which was just like a buildup of cerebrospinal fluid in my brain. Got it treated. It was a long process that sucked, but all under control.
Wow.
That to be said, I was pretty tired of the way that my life was looking, and I'm like, I can't spend another moment like this.
Yeah.
So I quit my job, and I put in my 2 weeks. On the last day of work, my mom and I celebrated with Chinese food. My fortune cookie said something, I have it in here still, because I got this exactly a week before my first day at the studio, and it says, "You are very persistent in pursuing your goals in life."
Yeah.
And so I started very early September, and just by taking a co-op course and deciding kind of on the spot that I wanted to work at the music studio, because I didn't even know it was there until before, or until after. So I emailed David, and he gave me a call after school. He told me to come check the place out on a Saturday, and I got hired, and I started on like the Wednesday of that week after like paperwork had been figured out and stuff. And so I had been going there for the first semester of grade 11. I had been going there from the beginning of the day, so about 9 a.m., and then I'd go to school at 11:45. And now at the end of my lunch period at like 12 something, take a bus and I head up there, and I get to spend the rest of my day there now. So it's all for school credit.
Cool. That's awesome. So and I you know, I don't want to like glorify capitalism, but I do think that there is something to be said for like what you want in life. Like, you know, go for it even when there might be, you know, some reason not to. Just play for it, and you tend to be surprised what happens.
Yeah.
You know, like that could be my privilege talking. I don't know, but that's always what I've felt in me, you know. Yeah. So I'm happy that you know, when you reach those moments of like, okay, things can't keep going this way. It's instead of, you know, being defeated by it, it's like taking a step outside of yourself and looking at it soberly. What do I want my life to look like? Yeah. You know, and then just going for it.
Yeah. I heard something pretty recently, like within the past few months, and it really resonated with me in that kind of same way. I don't know who said it, but it was something along the lines of, try it, and if it doesn't work out, stop doing it. You already weren't doing it before. Like,
that's a real matter-of-fact way to looking at it, yeah.
I mean, sometimes there can be something to lose, but in my case, like, by taking the risk of just reaching out, it's absolutely completely transformed my
Totally.
life in every way.
And the whole world is just a bunch of yeses and a bunch of nos.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's, I've taken lots of personal growth courses, and one of the things that really stuck in me after all that was like, every communication, everything you say to someone is kind of, or like, anything you want can be accomplished through talking with people. And it's just like making request. It's either a request where someone accepts it or declines it. And then anything else is just whatever meaning you add to it. Right? Like if someone rejects you for a gig, you can either say, okay, I give up. Or you can be like, okay, got it. All right. So, and then, like I have a spreadsheet of hundreds of venues and festivals to reach out to. And I do that every winter, and that's the way that it goes. And there could be a gajillion reasons why someone turns you down, but regardless, like in your case, I think that you should be, first of all, applying for the Mariposa contest that they have every year to pick like a top 9 and then a top 3 that get to perform at the Mariposa Festival. You'd be perfect for that, as well as I'll tell you later. I'll make you a whole list. Maybe not during the stream itself. Sometimes I forget we're streaming because it's like, again, one person watching, and like when there's an audience, it's a whole different beast, right? But that's the weirdness of live streaming. But anyway, so I know we were going to do through and through and through together, so we'll do that in a little bit here. But when it comes to music theory, I mean, it does seem like you know some stuff. Like
I get by.
You get by, yeah. Is there anything that you think that maybe organically through just through writing that you've learned about songwriting?
About songwriting, this isn't necessarily about theory. I can't say that I've taught myself much about theory. All I know from about theory is either through just kind of playing around before I started writing, and guitar class, because I've been taking guitar class since last year. They offer it at my school, and I don't think I've taught myself much in terms of like playing the guitar, but for actually songwriting, there was like a quote that really pushed me forward, and it said, you can make it better later, just make it exist now.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And so at that point, it's just like you have pages and pages and pages of just thoughts.
Yeah.
And one day you can just pick and choose. When you're not feeling anything, you can just pick and choose one or two things from that, spit it out onto another page, it turns into something new. So I gained a lot of inspiration from Joel Plaskett and Stephen Malkmus of Pavement, and a lot from Wilco. I've been listening to a lot of Wilco ever since I was a kid. They've been one of my favorite bands. And
Pavement have some pretty wild lyrics.
Yeah. And I'd always loved Pavement, but I started like more intentionally listening to them this past summer. And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? But I like this. So I just kind of, my first song was actually fully written by me flipping through a Merriam-Webster dictionary on my bed and just seeing what words I liked. And then even if they made no sense at all, or I didn't know what they meant, I'd just find a way to get them in there as long as it would fit rhythmically. And I wrote a few songs like that with just a dictionary on my lap.
Well, this makes me think. There was a time I wanted at one point to start an initiative where it would just be songwriters trying to write a song for every Wikipedia article, just to explain them, and it's like, and totally, like, the way that I say it is like, there's songs that you write to keep the pencil sharp, and then there's ones that are kind of these divine things that come down.
Sent to you.
That either come to you and they come out in one go, or it's more like a hefty idea, or like a sense of like, I'm meant to write a song about this thing.
It needs to get like out.
It needs to get out, even if it takes me years to write it correctly and put it out there. And I've got plenty of those that are all backlogged in my gutty works there. That's a gross way of putting it. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that makes me think I could play a smig of chlorogenic acid. Close enough. Maybe I should plug in, if that's all right.
Cool to rip this out.
We will find out. I can pad it. Oh my God, the pad was down this whole time. Well, hopefully, the guitar was still reasonably audible.
I'm just gonna put this back.
Oh
here.
gosh. I'll try a little bit of this, and then yeah, I guess we'll do through and through soon after. Hello. Is anyone still there? Yeah, and Ryan's following you now, so you've got a new follower. So
Thank you,
nice.
Ryan.
Can I even play this? I got a tune. But I'm being stubborn and doing it without a tuner. This is not good by any means, but it's catchy. Chlorogenic acid, quite the antioxidant. Sounds a bit disturbing, but it's naturally occurring in you. Helps your coffee roast. Something about the glucose. Though as an isomer, which means its molecular structure takes a different order. Carbon 16, hydrogen 18, oxygen 9. Put them all together, you will find methiolinquinic, or good old chlorogenic acid. Ooh. Chlorogenic acid. Sell it in a Fulton. Chlorogenic acid to promote weight reduction. Chlorogenic acid, also in your bamboo. Chlorogenic acid, so koalas keep it cool. Ooh. That's garbage, but anyway.
I like that.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
It's but
it's catchy in words that, like, once again, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, that you would never think of writing a song about. One song that really floored me in the last few years, speaking of like unusual lyrics, to keep everything very CanCon. So Hawksley Workman has this: another summer wasted here in the Battlefords, on a banana seat bike with a hockey card and the spokes, like just all these very vivid images that are kind of bizarre.
Yes.
Like that.
The images are, I tried to run with that a lot when I first started, like, seriously songwriting. Just building, like, images that probably don't make any sense or have any correlation with each other.
But the interesting thing in his case is it is kind of like a stream of consciousness song, but it's still planted in this reality of, like, childhood growing up in the Battlefords and in the 80s in Canada. You know, it's a very specific moment in time. And then he's talking about, like, the local sensei in town, and it feels like a little great Canadian novel that he's guiding you through. But yeah, there's all kinds of crazy ways to write lyrics there, and there's lyrics that are totally abstract, but people can understand them right away. Like I guess you've probably heard, "Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head." You know that one?
I've definitely heard that. Yeah.
I can't make you love me if you don't. But the turn down the lights, turn down the bed. How do you turn down a bed? But we know exactly what they're talking about. You know, it's like, this is too intense, you know? So, and I've got this one that I'm working on, that I'm in the midst of recording, that's very modern, or about modern issues, but it was kind of a neat challenge of, like, let's just put some weird words together and see if I can make this make sense. Peacock fanning his feathers, fans him even more when he feels ignored. So they promise him the moon in an app and laugh as he chews the green screen scenery desperately for no mate, no pay. Every minute, every day, still all the zucks say fuck it. These jocks and show-offs can suck it. It's my world now, some kind of sci-fi slave casino. Bite the hand, that's your brand. The data shows you can't help but kiss the ring, bro. It's a good time to be a dreamer. It's a bad time to be alive. If you think things are getting better, you're always wrong and you're always right. The endless train of comatose hope, I wanna get off this ride. 'Cause if I have to hear the Arthur theme song one more time, I can't help it, I will cry like a wounded animal. What a time of day, learn to laugh and play, babe, cry like a wounded animal. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Da, 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 da. Anyway, so that's the gist of that.
I like that. I like that.
But
If I have to hear the Arthur
Yeah.
Arthur theme one more time.
I mean, it makes people laugh, but it's also like, I think I like to, I try to do the impossible when I write a song. If that
Right.
makes sense, right? That's what keeps it interesting for me. So it's like, can I write a song about a very serious thing, you know, or about like the decay of modern society and like the angst of being a millennial, where you were promised all this wonderful shit, and so now you like, you know, feel not just nostalgic but like sad and depressed at reminders of the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's like, how much of that laughter is people's own discomfort, or how much of it is people finding it funny, you know? And then trying to find a way to do both at the same time is a really interesting challenge
in itself,
you know.
yeah.
And one very basic fundamental thing I will tell you about songwriting that helped me with writing that song, but also is just like a great trick in general that I've learned from other like platinum selling songwriters and stuff like that, is and some that I've been blessed to write with, is deliberately working in contrast in your lyric, right? Okay. So if, you know, so I say it's a good time to be a dreamer, it's a bad time to be alive, right? So I'm trying to do both right away.
Yeah.
Or I'm drunk but I'm sober.
Yeah.
I'm poor but I'm kind. You know, so like it instantly makes things interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're ever stuck, it's like, this lyric just isn't interesting. Like maybe it's just, can I work some contrast into these, like something to juxtapose with the other thought, or but I in your song, your first single there, I love how you work in like a sense imagery. You talk about, what is it, the smell of the air in the...
Oh yeah. Will the air smell the same as the day that you met me?
Right.
Will it stir you? Will it strike you? Will you live to forget me?
Right. Like even just bringing up the smell there, like it songs feel more real and enveloping when we're trying to work in all the senses into lyrics like that. Yeah. So that's a really cool trick. And you did that by accident. Like, you don't need to know this stuff academically in order to do it, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it just happens.
Sometimes it just happens.
Interesting is interesting.
Yeah. And also like learning from songwriters, like just through their work. Like it's all there in the work if you know how to listen to it.
Yep.
You know? So speaking of which, I think we're going to try through and through and through. And then right after this, I might I'll do that on the post stream. There's a song of mine that's been like a staple of my live shows since I was about your age, that I realized was indirectly inspired by Through and Through and Through.
Oh yeah.
Because hearing that growing up, I was like, I fucking love this song. But just the good things come to those who wait. So I have a song that's like exactly that premise. Good things come to those who wait, and who'd ever thought you... And I always work that...
I have a song that says the good things come to those who write, and then the good things come to those who sing consecutively.
Ooh, that's
because
nice.
of that song.
Oh.
Yeah. The good things come to those who sing, so I'll beg and I'll plead for a silver ring. So I can write you a song and I'll sing till you're sick of me. That's how it goes.
So, do you want to play that for us?
Sure.
Well, we'll do that. We'll do that in the after
yeah.
stream.
Yeah. Let's do
We'll
that.
do that in the after party.
I'll see if I can remember the fucking thing.
I'm gonna get out the lyrics because I'm through and through of talking to you. Oh my gosh. No, I'm joking. No, it's a joy. And so everything's still good out there, Ryan? Let us know if anything funky happens. Thankfully Ryan's there. He's kind of our sound technician in a way.
The moderator.
The moderator, yeah, that's what I mean. So through and through. I'm gonna guess my way through the chords. I'm pretty darn confident I can do it. Through and through. I was trying to not type it in 3 times.
I know. I do that all the time. You do have to specify.
There it is. Skrr. Oh, you have to make sure I'm a human? Yes, I'm a human.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I am kind of too nice to be a human, I think. AI, Jesus, singing AI ballads. That's another example of you can work in the contrast, not necessarily with a lyric like that, but just the tone of the song. If it's a happy sounding song, but
make it horribly
I think
depressing.
I'm gonna kill myself. Or God, there's so many examples, but I feel like a lot of They Might Be Giants very much because I discovered them around your age, and I've always loved them. But they speaking of really freaking weird lyrics, I'm your only friend, I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend, but really I'm not actually your friend, but I am.
Right.
What?
Yes. Go on.
And that was one of their hits. Anyway. But then they've also probably made most of their money doing the theme song to Malcolm in the Middle and The Daily Show. So
Do you mind if I film this while we do it?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it might be terrible, so maybe don't post
I'm ready.
it.
I sure am ready.
And I'm gonna try and get the whole lyric up in one go, or I might have you scroll for me.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay. Oh, geez. We will try this out. So now we're on 2 screens simultaneously. All right. Time to find out. Can we do this? Oh, let's get some reverb. I should have some reverb from the start. Derp. And that's not where we get it. We get it here.
Just hoping I know how
Test.
to operate this.
Hey, there we go. I think
That's how you do it. Okay. I'm just I don't even know
I
where to
got
start with that. But
a little bit of
I
carpal tunnel one time almost.
Yeah.
You might want to adjust that just a little bit because I can't, so we're more centered in frame. There we go. That might work better. Okay, and if you want to get more center frame.
All right.
Alrighty. You look taller than me.
I do.
You'll take the first line there, the whatever's in brackets, I guess. I'm the Berlin Wall. I'm a communist. You're a wrecking ball in a summer dress. You're the horizon light. I'm the last sunset. I might be going down, but I'm not set yet. I'm as white as a ghost, digging foolish gold. I will man my post, but I won't do as I'm told. Got a purple heart from a bloody war. Can't take it anymore, more. They say that good things come to those who wait. If you snooze, then you lose, so don't hesitate. Out of sight, out of mind, out of luck, out of wine. Don't you say that I'm out of my mind. I've been talking trash, but it ain't my fault. Every time I move, someone's there in my spot. Good things come to those who wait. If you snooze, then you lose, so don't hesitate.
Got nowhere to go.
I know.
It's only you and me.
But good things come in threes. You be April Stevens, I'll be April Wine. You be Israel, I will be Palestine. Come on, teach Teach me, tiger, come on and show me tricks. Let me take my time and take some lazy legs. Through and through and through.
Where we find you now.
Around, around, around. All the dirty blondes playing blue-eyed soul. You want to sing it?
Songs on the radio. Every note we sing can't be solid gold. Every boy can't be Romeo. They say the
Good things come to those who wait.
all the good
Things come
if
if you take the bait at the rummage sale.
at the Sally Ann.
Everything is cheap. Love should last a life,
Or at least a year.
but it lasts a week. I'm the Berlin Wall.
That ain't no.
I'm a total mess. Oh wait, what is it? Okay, let's try that again. I'm a Berlin Wall.
That ain't no.
I'm a total mess. You're a wrecking ball. Oh no! Oh my God! I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm the Berlin Wall.
And that ain't all.
I'm a total mess. You're a wrecking ball
I'm a wrecking ball.
in a summer dress.
Are you feeling
Through and through and through.
where we find you now?
Around, around, around. All the dirty blondes playing blue-eyed song on the radio. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore.
Can't take it anymore. More.
I'm through and through and through. Mouth horn solo. Whoops. No. No.
No! Oh god!
There we go. I kind of did it. I kind of did it. All right. Cool. Well, what was I trying to play? I was trying to go like... I think I just wanted that.
Yeah.
What's the inversion I'm trying to fit? Oh, I'm just trying to do that. I'm totally overthinking it. There you go. Because there's once you learn all the inversions, the world is your oyster, right? You got D there, you got D there, you got D there, you got D there. Anyway, okay. Thank you so much for being with us here, Ollie Mae.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
That was very fun. Hopefully it sounded good. Hopefully it wasn't distorting like crazy out there. But yeah, it's fun to try and sound like Joel Plaskett for a second.
That's what I do pretty much every second.
Rolling. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, my favorite live solo show that I think ever seen was Joel Plaskett at the Four Winds Music Fest a couple years ago. The one where I got to win that, and so then I got to hang out with him a bunch. And so I was very blessed. And you should enter that too, because you'd be a shoo-in. But they have kind of a preliminary round. There's also like the Kerrville New Folk contest. You should enter that. A lot of people enter it like years and years and years and don't win it, but somehow, or like they'll make like the top 16 or something. But I just won. So now I'm not allowed to enter it anymore, which is a bummer in a way. But anyway, okay, enough about me. We will see you on Patreon in just a moment here, where I will do good things come to those who wait. And then, but let me just show you our links one more time here. So I'm going to be at patreon.com/join/Taylor Abrahams. You can join for free just so you can check us out and then cancel. I don't care. But it'd be a joy to have you either way. All right, Ryan, I will see you over there in just a second. Alrighty. Whoops. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.